Okay, what I have today is a cordage making system, and what it is you can use 2-liter bottles and other smaller ones, stuff like this, and it turns the bottle into cordage you can use. You can melt it, you can use it for ties out in the woods, whatever. Basically, it was a Kickstarter I got involved with from Grimm Workshop a little while ago. Most of the items are now available for sale, but I got 3 of their cordage makers and then 2 perks. They come unassembled, but they're very easy to put together, and the website has a really good link showing how to put them all together, so I'll go ahead and add a link to that. But the ones I got were the cordage card, the cordage micro tool, and the cordage dog tag tool. And then, like I said, 2 perks. One was some extra blades, and the other one was a cordage tool expansion kit. And what this does is it has different size spacers in it and screws. So what happens is you can make the cordage wider or smaller as you see fit. The smaller one supposedly being for fishing line, and the larger one, I guess, just for tying it better. But basically what you end up with is these metal tools made in the USA, and then you put them together. So we'll start out with the cordage card, and again, it comes unassembled, and you just go ahead and assemble it. Very easy to do. I mean, a little tricky as far as with the small screws. So far, the only issues I had with it were the metal pieces come and you basically pop them out. So what it does, it leaves little sharp little pieces. I mean, you just file them out, it's not a big deal, but the edges, they did it good on there. Just a couple little burrs that you can just file off, just as in not worrying about cutting yourself. You know, I know it seems minor, but last thing you want to do is, if you're really using these in a survival situation, is go ahead and get yourself hurt. But what you do is you basically put the pieces on there, the screws through it, the spacers, as you can see there, different size spacers, and then the nuts on the back, and tighten it down, and then basically you go from there. So this is the actual card. Then you have the micro tool, which is right here, so a smaller version of it. And the idea obviously is that you could hang this on a lanyard, a zipper pull, whatever you want, or actually make use 550 cord and make a wrist cordage on it. And the last one was the dog tag, and it's pretty cool. It comes with a dog tag chain, it comes with a silencer. I'm thinking you have to remove the silencer to actually use it, because it looks like it might get in the way. When I did it, I didn't have a problem, but there's the dog tag. It goes on just like a regular dog tag. You can hang it. It comes with the dog tag chain. So there's those 3 items. So basically, right now, what it says on their website about the micro tool, they're showing this at $12.95. Right now there's like only 1 left. It says not available for pre-order, so I'm guessing it's what they have on stock right now. But it says the smallest cordage tool, the cordage making micro tool, slip it on your pull chain, zipper, keychain, backpack, whatever, or put it in a small tin. It says that 1 2-liter bottle can yield about 65 to 75 feet of line. So basically you can use that for whatever you want, attaching to stuff. They have some good videos explaining it, and some other people have been online also showing what they did and how they used it. So there's a lot of good videos for that. The dog tag tool is $15.95 US. It says only 1 left as well. I'm not 100% sure if they're doing another pre-order or what the story is. But some of the perks on this, they say made in the USA, just a 1/4 inch thick, dog tag size, same as standard dog tag, stainless steel, highly corrosion resistant, surgical grade, hardened stainless steel, tough and functional. And you get the spacers, the bolts, the nuts, and 1 blade. And then on the last one, which is the Cordage making card, which actually I found to be the easiest to use, that's $24.95, and it says it's more compact, just a 1/4 inch thick from the original, safer. It said they added a guard so you don't have to worry about it cutting something in your pack. Carabiner hole, so I'm guessing that's what they're talking about here for a carabiner. Mounting holes, so you can actually take this if you were out or you want to keep it stationary somewhere. You go ahead and have it on your just put 4 screws in. You can put it onto a tree, or I guess whatever, and just actually have it stationary so you can zip the stuff through. But to show you real quick, I found that the smaller bottles are sort of a pain. I haven't done a 2 liter yet to right now, but I did some smaller bottles and they had different kinds of ridges in them, and now unfortunately that they're making them less flexible, or I mean more flexible I should say, or trying to save the environment by using recyclables. Some of them I've found that it's really hard to do, but what it says is basically go ahead and cut off the top, and they use scissors on the demonstration, but you want to try and keep it as straight as possible. The straighter you keep it, the better it is. And I just want to try and do this right on the go rather than trying to have them preset. So this will probably be awkward. Like this right here, it's probably going to be a problem. So what I'm going to do is try and use one of these lines here. Let's see if I can get that. So yeah, unfortunately, I mean, you have to actually prep them. It's not a big deal as long as you have a knife, and I think you could probably get away, if you were out there doing it without. As long as you can get where you can get the top off and then get the little blade in there, you should be fine. But yeah, I didn't want to prep them because I wanted to give an idea of actually true time how long it takes. But yeah, I'm probably going to regret that now. So, just even this up a little bit. Even this one up. And what I'm doing is just trying to get a straight line across that I can use. Almost there. Okay, that's a lot better, I guess, if you can sort of see. But the idea is you're going to have the blade, and when you put it together, the videos are really good about showing how you should have the bevel on the blade, but the blade's going this way. So what you basically do is you're starting the bottle, and you're sort of starting and pulling it, and as you start and pull, you'll cut it and then just sort of turn it. It's a little tricky at first, but what you'll do is you'll end up getting a little piece, and like I said, you can mount this down. So sometimes you gotta, see, like that. Unfortunately, didn't have enough piece, so I ran into the other one. So it is a little tricky to start. I've done it a few times with the other ones and this one, and actually did get a good start. Some other people I noticed what they did is they just sort of held it like this, and then sort of fed it in there. Yeah. It says it's a little tricky, and they give you little tips to help out, but it's sort of one of those things once you get it started. Yeah. So if I can get this going here. There we go. So now I'm starting to cut it. And what happens is you want to get a little bit of a piece going. There you go. So once I got a piece, lost it. And that's with these lighter bottles, I noticed a lot of trouble with them because there's just nothing really to them anymore. So you sort of snake it through there. But you can see, got it started a little bit. Sort of want to grab this tail and then just start feeding it through. And it sort of catches itself. See if I can do any better holding it up. There you go. And as it pulls through, it's cutting and sizing itself. So like I said, they'll get stuck. It's, you know, they say it should roll pretty easy. So obviously I'm not doing it perfect, but as you start to pull, and these, like I said, these bottles are just sort of a pain. They just don't seem to have enough substance. Let me try the Microcutter. The Microcutter seems like it's be more of a pain, but it's actually sort of nice because you can sort of get it in there, get it fed in there, and start cutting. So there, you can see that. Got the Microcutter on there, got it started. So now I start pulling. You start pulling, pushing, holding down everything at the same time. But like me, I'm having just a real pain at it right now. But yeah, this is, I mean, like I said, realistic. It's just another one of those ones, you know, I mean, obviously, until you got the tool figured out, it's gonna take a little bit of a learning curve. But there's a bevel on one side and an actual knife on the other side, so you know, sometimes people are having problems just because they're not actually using the knife side and they're just pushing against it. Sorry about that. So if it's not obvious, I'm the one having the problem here, not the tool. So if there's a tool, it's me. So let's try this one again. Yeah, you start to, when it's working, you can definitely tell. So there, I got it fed in. Like I said, these bottles, these are just really cheap bottles now that they're doing it. So this one's fed in now, as you can see. When you start to pull, oops, sorry. That's what you're supposed to see. Supposed to start, yep. See this just sort of come out, the cordage. At any rate, it pulls, then you use this cordage, you can actually tie it and shrink it as well. But yeah, some of these are just a pain. Let me try the small one again. I'm going to switch over to a 2 liter here in a second. I had better luck earlier at work with bigger ones, but yeah, I don't know. These cheap bottles, I think these are, I don't even know what brand. Alright, enough of that. Got a 2 liter. Let's see if we can get this thing to work. Like I said, I got it to work before, and it worked really well once I got the hang of it. And what I'm looking for is the bevel on the blade to make sure I start it the right way. This one. So yeah, there we go. So you can see, you just keep pulling it through, and it's making the cordage as we go. You sort of have to, it's sort of awkward holding it, but you sort of pull down and away. What happens is it's cutting as we go through. So yeah, the stiffer the bottle seems to be, the better. Like I said, the other one was just a pain. So what I'll do is I'll cut this here. And you can see, got a little line stuff. What we're getting is very strong. You can do lashings, knots, whatever you want with this. I've some of the other guys on the other channels, they're taking it and actually interweaving it, and I believe there's a guy, I'll try and find a link and attach it, who made a bow out of it. So that's what you're getting. So yeah, a lot of quarters. We'll try the small one now. Yeah, the stiffer, I think this, I'm going to say the stiffer the bottle, the better off you are. Because those other ones are just really a pain in the butt. So yeah, here's the micro tool. If I hold it like this on there and pull while I press down, I can get cordage out of this one. I might have the, I'm thinking I might have the, thing's a little too tight on here. So that might be why this little guy's giving me problems, but what we'll do is we'll switch over. Let's try the card itself, or the dog tag. So let me get a, and it's all technique. So there. And this one, I guess I didn't have to take the silencer off. But every once in a while you run into a hiccup, like right here where I cut it before. I'm going to lose that because it wasn't even. So you sort of want it to be, you definitely want it to be even. When it gets out of center, some of the parts get too long or what have you. So that's not what you're looking for. So let me go ahead and like I said, apparently there's a learning curve. I did alright the other day, and now I'm having a little bit of an issue, but when it's cutting right, you can definitely feel it. So you might want to run it down the rim for a little bit so you can get it. Like this is uneven, so yeah. So I start pulling. And obviously, if you let gravity help you a little bit better. So yeah. Go back to this card. So yeah, you can see let gravity help you out. And yeah, I'm obviously having some issues with it. But like I said, this is all user error, not tool's doing what it's supposed to be doing. It's just me that obviously is having a problem. But the straighter you can get it, the better off you are. But you know, you can sort of force it through. Kidding. Definitely getting cordage made. Alright. Got this guy. One last time. See if I can actually get a decent pull. There we go. Probably also helps if you orient it correctly. So I'm definitely getting some cordage, and as you can see, this thing is definitely not even. I screwed that up. But I wanted, like I said, I wanted to be realistic on how it works, rather than have it all pre-cut and start and make it look nice. You can actually see that it does work, but it takes a little bit of getting used to, that kind of thing. And making sure you're going the right way again. And I saw some of the guys were just holding it, so I sort of running it along. You know, a little better than that one. But, and we're definitely getting cordage. I mean, it's sort of like you gotta find a middle ground of letting it just sort of go and pulling, you know, if that makes sense. Like, you don't want to hold it too tight, but you don't want to hold it too loose. But yeah, if you have this hooked up to a tree. So that was a pretty decent run. And that's quite a few feet. Like I said, it's surprisingly stronger than you would think. So, but yeah, well, they're taking it, doubling it up, cording it up, and then actually I watched one where they actually made the lashings and just used a lighter and it shrunk it and made it even tighter. So now that I have this gigantic mess, let's try this one real quick again. The glutton for punishment. If you're still watching, I appreciate it, because I know this is not that exciting. This guy. It was funny because the ones I used when I tried it earlier at work got to the point where it would just zip all the way around until it actually popped out. But of course, when it's time to do it for camera, I can't get it to do it correctly. Okay, I think we're going to be done here. Try this micro one more time. And the micro seemed to work pretty good too. I think this is just a matter of me having issues more than that. So, and the micro, you sort of can run it along the top once you get it started. And it says, you know, if it starts to bind, obviously you're doing one of two things wrong. Either you're running the blade the wrong way and you're running against the non-cutting surface, or you're just, you know, getting it bound up too much, which is not surprising in my case. So let me see. And that's the other problem. Once you start getting it dinged up, it's sort of hard. So I got this sort of turned. So there's the dog tag. That's working nice. So I'm getting enough long enough sections, obviously. It's just more a matter of pushing down, keeping the flow. Yeah, I'm getting nice long threads, and it's not taking that long. And I guess, you know, if you're in a survival, you got time, you know. So this one's cutting violently really nice. If that's so good, let's see. Maybe in this last section, if we can get this micro to surprise us. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe I have a screw that's just a little tightened a little too much on there. So it might actually be binding. But yeah, as you can see, that the cord, the dog tag, the regular one works really well. And that works well, the micro. But yeah, it's just a matter of getting it situated so that's actually cutting, and then just, you know, taking your time, you know, trying not to force it. And I know that they do it upside down. I'm just trying different ways to see if I can have better luck. And with this one, if I can actually press down. The problem is you get to a certain point and there's nothing left in the bottle. So all in all, it obviously does what it's supposed to do. It takes a little bit of practice, and it definitely goes ahead and supplies you with some good cordage. So that's the issue with it. You end up with this cordage, just footage of cordage that you need. But obviously, you know, it takes some practice and some time. But so what we end up having is, I'm not sure how long these blades will last. I do have some replacements. They look pretty heavy duty. They're fairly thick for the blade, but again, so that's the cordage card, the dog tag for the cordage, and the micro. So all in all, I'm very happy with, you know, the way they work, what they do, the size. I mean, like I said, just throw it in my kit and I have it. I think it might be a little hard to make the fishing line, but I'm going to go ahead and try that with one of these. But the bigger spacers, that might be something to do as well, just to get bigger chunks. But as you can see, it definitely does what it promises. It does take a little bit of skill, I guess, for lack of a better term. But yeah, you know, I definitely would not sway anybody away from purchasing these. The micro is nice. I guess I got to work with that a little bit more. Out of the three, I'd say that the card cut the best and the easiest for me right off the bat. Probably because of the larger size, the fact you can flatten it down. But the dog tag worked really well, as good as well. So I wouldn't shy away from getting all three or any of them. But definitely, I think this was number one, number two, and then the micro number three, which makes sense. But like I said, the nice thing about the micro is you can just put it on your some 550 cord wrist, watch, whatever, and you have it, or just clip it onto something. So worst case scenario, if you're in a survival situation, you need to use it. You know, obviously you have time. You can take your time, you know, practice with it. But I would not shy away from any of these. Again, it's grimworkshop.com, and in full disclosure, I purchased these all myself through their Kickstarter. So they're all made with my own money. I don't know anybody at the factory or at the business, and I haven't contacted anybody. I haven't had any reason to. The pluses, it works. They're well built. They're really sort of cool items too. American made, and like I said, you're helping out. The only downside, I guess if there's downsides, takes a little bit getting used to. It is a little bit of a skill level, but not anything. Out of 1 to 10, I'd say it's like a 3. And once you get the hang of it, it seems to work really well. The only other downside is, like I said, there's some burrs on it. But like I said, on this one, I keep saying like I said, on this one, you actually popped off these two pieces. They all came on the card. So you got two little burrs. I mean, they're sharp. You can go ahead and just, you know, run a file on them. They curve the edges here. These are a little bit sharp. I mean, obviously, I'm not cutting myself open or anything like that, but you could just run a file down them. No real issues on here. It's a little sharp on these, obviously, from where they popped off too. But I don't know. I mean, you can maybe use that for cutting something. You know, it might not be a bad thing, or you just run a edge down there. So now that I made this mess, basically, I'm really happy with these, and I wouldn't keep anybody from like purchasing them. So again, grimworkshop.com, and it looks like they have some like a monthly type thing that you can use, become a member, and get some other items. So that's it. I appreciate you watching this video. I know it was long-winded and sort of a pain, but we did succeed in making some cordage from the bottles. So maybe I'll make a video showing some stuff you can use. So I'll add some links below. And again, thank you. Next time.